Commander Jack Stone stood at the viewing window of Earth's orbital diplomatic station, his reflection grim against the backdrop of stars. His fists clenched as he read the message on his tablet for the third time. The Galactic Council had just restricted 3 more human colonies without warning or discussion. 50 years, he muttered. 50 years of playing nice. Jack turned when the door slid open. Admiral Olivia Reed entered the room, her face showing the same controlled anger he felt. "You've seen the news?" she asked. Jack nodded. "They're calling it safety protocols. Same excuse as always. Safety has nothing to do with it." Olivia joined him at the window. Below them, Earth shone blue and green, beautiful and dangerous, a death world by Council standards. "They're afraid of us." The aliens from gentle planets had never understood humans. When Earth joined the galactic community, the other species had been shocked to learn about the conditions humans considered normal. High gravity, extreme weather, deadly predators, and radiation levels that would kill most aliens in days. "The council meeting starts in an hour," Jack said. "I'm supposed to smile and thank them for their concern while they lock down another mining colony." Olivia's eyes hardened. Not this time. She activated the room's security protocols. The lights dimmed, and a soft hum indicated that no one could listen to their conversation. "Operation Watershed is ready," she said quietly. "The President has given approval." Jack felt a mix of relief and tension. For years, humanity had built ships, weapons, and defenses that went far beyond what they showed the Council. They had hidden their true strength out of good faith, hoping for equal treatment. "Show me," he said. Olivia pulled up classified files on the main screen. Images appeared of human ships with technology the Council believed was beyond Earth's capability. Maps showed hidden outposts and defense systems that no alien inspector had ever seen. "The Miller colony on horizon has already installed the new shield generators," Olivia explained. "New Terra has the prototype weapons ready. We can have everything in place within 3 months." Jack walked slowly around the display, taking it all in. "The Council thinks we're still using their approved tech. When they find out, it will be too late for them to stop us," Olivia finished. "We're not looking for war, Jack. Just respect." Jack thought about all the times he'd sat in council meetings, watching alien representatives talk down to humans. He remembered the unfair trade deals, the protective regulations that only seemed to limit human expansion, and the patronizing tone whenever humans suggested new ideas. "What about the pirates hitting our outer colonies?" he asked. Olivia's smile was cold. "We have evidence linking them to 3 council races. The next time they attack, they'll find out what happens when you corner a species that evolved on a world that tries to kill them every day." Jack looked back at Earth. Humans had fought each other for most of their history, surviving in conditions that would break most alien species. They had learned restraint the hard way, but restraint was being mistaken for weakness. "We tried diplomacy," he said finally. "We tried cooperation. We even tried being patient, and they took advantage of it all," Olivia replied. "The Council needs to learn that Deathworlders have limits." Jack nodded slowly. "I'll inform the President that I'll be delivering a different kind of message at today's meeting." As they looked out at the stars, both officers knew that the galaxy was about to change forever. Humans had been pushed too far for too long. The reckoning was about to begin. Tom Miller wiped sweat from his forehead as he inspected the new shield generators hidden beneath Horizon Colony's main power plant. The air was hot and thick with the smell of metal and ozone. As former Marine and now colony administrator, he knew how to keep secrets. "How much longer?" he asked the lead engineer. 2 days at most," she replied, tightening a connection. "The Council inspectors won't find it unless they tear apart the whole facility." Tom nodded with satisfaction. Similar work was happening across all human settlements. On the surface, humans appeared to accept the Council's new restrictions with their usual patience. Behind closed doors, Operation Watershed moved forward at rapid speed. The truth was simple. Humans had never needed alien technology. They had simply chosen to use it as a sign of cooperation. Now that cooperation was ending. Back in his office, Tom received an encrypted message from Earth. It contained new instructions from Admiral Reed. He was to allow a minor pirate attack on the colony's outer farms next week. The response would be carefully measured, enough to surprise the pirates, but not enough to reveal their full capabilities. Just a taste, he muttered to himself, just enough to make them wonder. On the other side of human space, Intelligence Officer Max Wilson moved through the virtual landscape of the Council's central database. His physical body sat in a secure room on Luna Base, but his mind worked through neural interfaces far more advanced than what humans officially possessed. The Council believed human brains were too primitive for direct neural connections. This assumption had made their security systems weak against human infiltration. Max navigated through layers of data, careful not to leave traces. What he found confirmed their suspicions. Records showed systematic efforts to suppress human development. Technologies humans had invented were being claimed by alien species. Resources from Earth's colonies were being diverted through complex trade agreements. Most disturbing were the plans to gradually reduce human expansion under the guise of safety regulations. The long-term goal was clear: keep humans contained to a handful of systems, while the rest of the galaxy was divided among the civilized species. Max downloaded the evidence and sent it through secure channels to Earth Command. This would be the proof they needed when the time came to confront the Council. Jack Stone sat quietly in the back of a Council subcommittee meeting. The alien representatives discussed new safety protocols for human ships. The irony wasn't lost on him. These same aliens couldn't even survive on Earth's surface without special suits, yet they believed they knew what was safe for humans. A tall, blue-skinned Aldari noticed Jack's silence. "Commander Stone, you seem unusually accepting of these measures. Your species typically argues more." Jack smiled politely. "We're learning to pick our battles, Representative. Some things matter more than others." The Aldari looked suspicious but continued the meeting. Jack maintained his diplomatic facade while inwardly counting down the days until Operation Watershed would change everything. Later, Jack met with Ben Warren, Earth's official ambassador, in a secure room. "The President has approved the next phase," Jack told him. "When the pirates hit New Terra next month, we'll let them see some of what we can do." Ben looked worried. "The Council will react badly." "We're counting on it," Jack replied. "They'll demand inspections, threaten sanctions. When we refuse, they'll try to intimidate us. And then they learn what happens when you back Deathworlders into a corner." 3 weeks later, on the mining colony of New Terra, Colony Director Anna Rose watched the pirate ships appear on her security screens. The alarm systems blared throughout the settlement, but nobody panicked. They had been waiting for this. "Let them get close to the outer facilities," she ordered her security team. "Make it look like we're struggling to respond." The pirates, expecting an easy raid on a defenseless human outpost, moved confidently toward the colony. Their ships were better armed than any pirates should have been. Clear evidence of Council backing. News of the pirate attack on New Terra spread quickly through Council space. What caught everyone's attention wasn't the attack itself, but how it ended. Rumors circulated about the pirates' defeat. Their ships had been captured intact, their crews taken prisoner without a single human casualty. In the Council chamber, the Aldari representative demanded answers. These pirates had military-grade weapons. How did a simple mining colony defeat them? Anna Rose stood before the emergency council session, her posture relaxed yet confident. She wore a simple uniform with Earth's insignia, no weapons or protective gear. Several alien representatives needed breathing equipment just to be in the same room with her. "Perhaps," Anna said calmly, "you should ask why pirates had military-grade weapons in the first place." She activated a display showing data recovered from the pirate ships. Communication logs and financial records clearly linked the pirates to 3 council races. "Or perhaps," she continued, You should explain why Council species were funding pirates to attack human settlements. The chamber erupted in angry denials and accusations. The Aldari representative's blue skin darkened with rage or embarrassment. Humans still had trouble reading alien emotions. These records could be faked, he shouted over the noise. Anna smiled. We anticipated that response. She gestured to her assistant, who brought forward 3 pirates in restraints. They were from a reptilian species known for mercenary work. The lead pirate was forced to confirm their council backing in front of the entire assembly. The council members fell silent. For 50 years, Anna said into that silence, we have followed your rules. We have accepted your restrictions. We have smiled while you called us primitive Deathworlders. She walked slowly around the central platform, making eye contact with each representative. That time is over. Jack Stone watched the council session from Earth's diplomatic station. Admiral Reed stood beside him, both of them seeing the plan unfold exactly as they had hoped. Phase 2 begins now, Reed said, sending the coded authorization to all human settlements. Across human space, ships that had remained hidden in asteroid fields and gas giant moons emerged from concealment. Defense platforms that had appeared to be simple observation posts revealed weapon systems far beyond Council-approved technology. Every human colony simultaneously activated shield generators that the Council believed were still in early development on Earth. The Council's response? Jack asked. Exactly what we predicted, Reed replied. They've ordered an emergency inspection of all human facilities. Their ships are already on the way to our outer colonies. Jack nodded. And our response? Reed's eyes gleamed. Ben Warren is delivering it right now. Ambassador Ben Warren stood before the Council's inspection authority, a group of alien officials responsible for enforcing technology restrictions. Their chairman, a tall avian creature, handed him the formal inspection order. These are non-negotiable, the chairman said. All human settlements must submit to immediate inspection for prohibited technologies. Ben accepted the document with a polite smile. I'm afraid that won't be possible. The chairman's feathers ruffled in anger. This is not a request, Ambassador. It is an order backed by Council law. Laws, Ben replied calmly, that were agreed upon with the understanding of mutual respect and fair treatment. Our evidence shows that understanding has been violated consistently for decades. He returned the document, unmarked and unsigned. Consider this our formal notice. Human worlds are closed to Council inspections until a new agreement can be reached, one that recognizes humans as equals, not as primitives to be managed. You cannot refuse, the chairman screeched. The Council will take action. Ben's expression hardened. I would advise against that. Strongly. On the edge of human space, 3 Council warships approached the mining facility on Europa, Jupiter's moon. Their mission was to enforce the inspection order by blockading the facility until human authorities complied. The ship's commanders were briefed that humans had only basic defense capabilities at the outpost, nothing that could challenge 3 modern Council vessels. Lieutenant Kate Wilson watched them approach from Europa's Defense Command Center. She had served in Earth's military for 15 years before being assigned to this seemingly quiet outpost. Now she understood why they had placed someone with her experience here. The battle at Europa lasted exactly 40 minutes. It would later become known across the galaxy as the 40-minute war, though it wasn't really a war at all. It was a demonstration. When the Council ships fired their first warning shots, targeting Europa's communication array, they expected the typical human response. Panic, followed by compliance. What they got instead shocked them to their core. Kate Wilson's first command activated Europa's shield system, technology the Council thought was decades beyond human capability. The Council weapons dispersed harmlessly against the blue energy field surrounding the mining facility. Her second command deployed specialized drones that attached themselves to the Council ships. Instead of attacking, these devices simply shut down the alien vessel's weapons and propulsion systems, leaving them drifting helplessly in space. All 3 targets neutralized, her tactical officer reported with barely contained excitement. No damage to their life support systems. Kate opened a channel to the Lid Council ship. This is Lieutenant Kate Wilson of Earth Defense. Your vessels have been disabled. Do not attempt to restore weapons or engines, or we will consider it a hostile act. The Council commander's face appeared on screen. His mandibles clicked rapidly in what humans had learned was a sign of extreme agitation. This is an act of war, he chittered. The Council will respond with full force. Kate remained calm. This is an act of self-defense. You were warned. Now you'll be boarded and escorted out of our territory. Boarded? Impossible. Our ship's atmosphere is toxic to humans. Kate smiled. You still don't understand what Deathworlders are capable of, do you? The boarding teams moved through the Council ships wearing environmental suits that were far more advanced than anything humans had ever shown the Council. The alien crews watched in horror as humans moved easily through toxic gas mixtures and gravity sections specifically designed to incapacitate Earth species. The lead boarding officer reported back to Kate, "Ma'am, we've secured all 3 vessels. Their crews are contained but unharmed." Kate nodded. "Send them home with a message." This was restraint, not weakness. News of the Europa incident reached the Galactic Council within hours. Emergency sessions were called. Military advisors were consulted. The mood was one of panic. Jack Stone arrived at the council chamber during the height of the crisis. He walked calmly to the central speaking platform, ignoring the shouts and accusations from the alien representatives. "The humans have gone mad," the Aldari representative shouted. "They've revealed hidden weapons and attacked council ships." Jack waited for the noise to die down before speaking. 3 armed vessels attempted to blockade a human mining facility. No one was hurt. The ships are being returned to Council space intact. If that's your definition of madness, perhaps you should reconsider your standards. The room fell quiet. Jack continued, his voice level but firm. "For 50 years, we've been treated as dangerous curiosities. You've exploited our resources while restricting our growth. You've patronized us while stealing our innovations. You've feared us while pretending to protect us." He activated a display showing Max Wilson's intelligence findings. Years of council plots against human interests laid bare for all to see. "We could have conquered instead of cooperated," Jack said. "Earth's history is filled with warfare. Our ancestors fought each other across continents, over oceans, even into the skies. We survived on a planet that would kill most of you in days." Jack paused, looking around the chamber. "But we chose peace. We chose diplomacy. Not because we're weak, but because we know the cost of war better than any of you." The silence in the chamber was absolute now. "We've been holding back," Jack continued. "Every ship you've seen, every weapon you've inspected, every technology you've approved. They were outdated before we shared them. We wanted to be partners, not conquerors." The Nevidian representative, Lyra, spoke up. Her species was known for their rationality. "If what you say is true, Commander Stone, what do humans want now?" Jack's expression softened slightly. "The same thing we've always wanted. Respect and fair treatment. The difference is, we're no longer asking." Back on Earth, Admiral Reed monitored the reactions across Council space. Some worlds called for immediate military action against humans. Others urged caution and negotiation. "They're dividing into factions," she told the president during their secure briefing. "Just as we predicted." The president looked troubled. "Will this lead to war?" The Galactic Council remained in emergency session for 3 days. Representatives argued, threatened, and eventually split into 2 clear factions. The hardliners, led by High Chancellor Dren of the Aldari, demanded immediate military action to bring humans back under control. The moderates, with Lyra of the Nevidians as their voice, urged caution and diplomacy. In the end, Dren's faction won by a narrow margin. Their decision was announced across all council channels. Humans had 1 week to return to compliance with council regulations, or face appropriate consequences. Jack Stone received the news with grim resignation. They still don't understand, he told Admiral Reed during their secure briefing. They think we're bluffing. Reed nodded. The intelligence we've gathered shows they're gathering a fleet, much larger than the 3 ships at Europa. How many? 27 warships. They plan to hit Earth directly, thinking we'll surrender rather than risk our homeworld. Jack closed his eyes briefly. Casualties. If they attack, potentially high on their side. Minimal on ours if our shield technology works as expected. The decision was made quickly. Earth would not fire first, but neither would they back down. Operation Watershed's final phase was set in motion. High Chancellor Dren stood on the command deck of the Aldari flagship. 26 other Council vessels moved in perfect formation behind him. This would be the end of human defiance. The demonstration of force would shock the Deathworlders back into their proper place. We've entered the Sol system, his navigator reported. Earth defense systems are tracking us, but taking no action. Dren's mouth parts curved into what his species considered a smile. They see our strength and grow afraid. Typical primitives. The fleet moved past Mars toward Earth. Their sensors detected unusual energy readings, but nothing that suggested a serious threat. Prepare the declaration, Dren ordered. When we achieve orbit around Earth, I will deliver our terms personally. His communications officer worked at his console, but then looked up in confusion. Chancellor, I'm detecting a strange signal pattern. It seems to be originating from. Suddenly, every screen on the bridge went dark. The engines fell silent. Emergency lights flickered on, then off again. What's happening? Dren demanded. No one answered because no one knew. Throughout the fleet, the same pattern repeated. Ships drifted powerless in space, their crews scrambling in confusion. Then, as suddenly as it had happened, power returned. But something was different. The navigation systems showed that the fleet had been moved. Instead of approaching Earth, they were now in high orbit around Jupiter. Dren's rage was visible in the darkening of his blue skin. How is this possible? No tractor beam has this range or power. A message appeared on all screens throughout the fleet. It was Admiral Reed's face, calm and composed. Aldari Fleet, this is Earth Command. We have neutralized your ship's offensive capabilities. Your life support and basic navigation remain functional. Consider this our response to your ultimatum. This is outrageous, Dren shouted, even though Reed couldn't hear him. We are the dominant force in the galaxy. As if in answer, the screens changed to show a view of Earth space. Hidden defense platforms were decloaking, revealing thousands of weapons far more advanced than anything the Council possessed. Ships emerged from concealment around every planet and moon in the solar system. Earth had been defended by an invisible armada all along. Reed's face returned to the screen. We have uploaded coordinates for your return to Council space. Follow them precisely. Any deviation will be considered hostile action. The message ended, leaving Dren and his commanders staring at each other in shock. On Earth, Jack Stone watched the Council fleet begin its humiliating retreat. They'll try again, he said. Dren's too proud to accept this. We're counting on it, Reed replied. Our intelligence unit has already intercepted communications between Dren and his inner circle. They're planning something desperate. Jack frowned. A direct attack. No, something worse. They're planning to overthrow their own government and then launch an all-out war against humanity. This news changed everything. A rogue Aldari faction could destabilize the entire galaxy, not just Earth. Millions could die in a war neither side truly wanted. We need to contact the moderate faction, Jack said. Lyra and her allies need to know what Dren is planning. Reed nodded. Already done. Max Wilson delivered the evidence personally to Lyra 2 hours ago. She was skeptical until she saw the communication logs. And now, Kate Wilson's team prepared in silence aboard their small stealth ship. There were 5 of them, each selected for their unique skills and adaptability to alien environments. They wore specialized suits that would protect them from the Aldari atmosphere while masking their human biosignatures. Final equipment check, Kate ordered as they approached Aldari space. Remember, we're not there to fight. We get in, secure the evidence of Dren's plot, transmit it to Lyra's people, and get out. They all knew the risks. If caught, there would be no rescue. Earth would deny all knowledge of their mission. It was the kind of operation humans had been running against each other for centuries before meeting aliens. Now they were applying those skills on a galactic scale. Their ship slipped past the Aldari defense grid using technology that made it nearly invisible to sensors. They landed in a remote area near the capital city, far from regular patrols. Air quality is even worse than briefed, their science officer reported, checking readings. Suit integrity is crucial. One leak and your lungs will burn from the inside. Kate nodded. Stay focused. We move in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, on the Aldari homeworld, High Chancellor Dren met with his inner circle. Their humiliation at Earth had only hardened their resolve. The operation must be accelerated, Dren told his commanders. The humans have shown capabilities beyond our estimates. If we wait, the moderates will gain support. His military chief, a veteran of many campaigns, looked concerned. The coup requires careful timing. If we move too soon, we risk failure. We have no choice, Dren hissed. Our agents are in position throughout the government. When the council convenes tomorrow, we will strike. Once we control the Aldari, the other council races will fall in line. None of them noticed the small drone hovering near the ceiling vent, transmitting everything they said. Kate's team moved through the Aldari capital using maintenance tunnels and service corridors. The gravity was lighter than Earth's, making movement easier despite their heavy equipment. Their target was Dren's private communications center, where the evidence of his coup was stored. Security is heavier than expected, Kate whispered as they observed the building. They've doubled the guards since our intelligence report. Her tech specialist studied the patterns. I can disable their sensors for 90 seconds. That's all we'll have to reach the entrance. Kate nodded. Then we make it count. The team moved with precision when the sensors went down. To an observer, they would have appeared as blurs, humans from a high-gravity world moving with deadly efficiency in the Aldari's lighter gravity. They reached the entrance and bypassed the security locks within seconds. Inside, they split into two groups. Kate led the way to the central data core, while her second team created a diversion in another section of the building. We're in, Kate reported as they reached the data center. Beginning download now. Her tech specialist connected to the Aldari system. Their encryption is complex, but I'm breaking through. Just need 3 more minutes. An alarm suddenly blared throughout the facility. We've been detected, her security officer warned. Guards are converging from all directions. Kate made a quick decision. Complete the download. I'll buy us time. In the council chamber, Lyra received an urgent message from her aide. It's happening. Humans have sent proof of Dren's coup. It's being broadcast to all council members now. On screens throughout the chamber, Dren's own words played for all to hear. His plans to overthrow the government, to eliminate opposition, to wage war against humanity. The council erupted in shock and anger. Security forces loyal to the moderate faction immediately moved to secure key locations. The coup was exposed before it could begin. Lyra stood to address the stunned representatives. We have been blind to the truth. While we feared humans for their physical strength, we ignored the danger from within. It seems the Deathworlders have saved us from ourselves. Kate's team fought their way out of the Aldari facility. The mission was accomplished. The data had been transmitted, but escape was now the challenge. 3 guards blocked their path to the extraction point. We can't outgun them, her weapons officer warned. Kate smiled behind her helmet. We don't need to outgun them. We're Deathworlders. She adjusted her suit's settings, increasing mobility at the cost of some protection. Then she charged forward at a speed the Aldari had never witnessed from any species. Their shots missed as Kate moved in patterns their targeting systems couldn't predict. Within seconds, she had disabled all 3 guards without killing them. "Move," she ordered her team. To the ship. 1 year passed since the day humans revealed their true capabilities to the galaxy. The once mighty Galactic Council had transformed into something new. The old power structure was gone, replaced by an alliance based on mutual respect rather than evolutionary origin. Jack Stone stood at the viewing window of the new joint embassy on Mars, watching ships from a dozen different species arrive for the ceremony. Today marked the official signing of the reformed Galactic Charter, a document that judged civilizations by their actions instead of their biology. "Quite a view," said a familiar voice. Jack turned to see Lyra, now the elected leader of the new Galactic Alliance. Her silver skin caught the sunlight as she joined him at the window. "I never imagined standing on a death world," she admitted. "Our scientists told us it would be impossible." Jack smiled. The same scientists who said humans couldn't possibly develop advanced shield technology. The very same. Lyra's expression became serious. "We were fools to underestimate your species." "You feared what was different," Jack replied. "All species do that, even humans." They watched as more ships landed. Representatives from worlds that once dismissed humans as primitive Deathworlders now came seeking partnerships. Earth's advanced technology, hidden for so many years, had become the most valuable resource in the galaxy. "Dren and his supporters?" Jack asked. "Exiled to a colony world," Lyra said. "Without access to human innovations, their economy is struggling. A humbling experience for those who once ruled the council." Admiral Reed joined them, wearing her formal uniform for the ceremony. "The final delegations have arrived. We should take our places." The ceremony hall was filled with alien representatives. Some needed breathing equipment to survive in the Martian atmosphere, which humans had only partially terraformed. Others found the gravity uncomfortable, but they came nonetheless, recognizing that the balance of power had shifted. Tom Miller from Horizon Colony had traveled to Mars for the occasion. He sat with Anna Rose from New Terra, both of them watching with quiet pride as their years of secret work were finally acknowledged. "Worth the wait?" Anna asked him. Tom nodded. 50 years of being treated like children. "I'd say this moment was definitely worth it." The human president took the central platform along with Lyra. Together, they activated the display showing the final text of the new charter. The first article stated clearly, "No species shall be judged by their world of origin, but by their actions and contributions to galactic peace." As the signing began, Max Wilson sat quietly in the back of the hall. His work as an intelligence officer wasn't over. Even with the Noob Alliance, some would always scheme for advantage. But for now, he allowed himself to enjoy the moment. A young Aldari representative approached him. "You're the one who exposed Dren's plot, aren't you?" Max shrugged. "I just helped deliver information where it needed to go." "My people owe you a debt," the Aldari said. "Dren would have destroyed us in his war against humans. He underestimated us," Max replied. "Many of you did. A mistake we won't make again." Back on Horizon Colony, new construction was underway. For the first time, non-human settlers were arriving to live alongside humans. Some came to learn, others to trade, all with a new respect for the species they once dismissed. 2 children, one human, one from a gentle garden world, played together in the colony's central plaza. The alien child wore an environmental suit, but that didn't stop them from running and laughing together. Lieutenant Kate Wilson had been reassigned to Horizon as security chief. She watched the children with a sense of accomplishment that no battle could match. "Never thought I'd see the day," said her second-in-command. Kate nodded. "This is why we did it all. Not to rule, but to be treated as equals." The final event of the day was the dedication of a new joint research facility. Built into the side of Olympus Mons on Mars, it would house scientists from 20 different species working together on projects that would benefit all. Jack Stone gave a short speech to the assembled dignitaries. This facility represents what humans have always wanted: cooperation based on respect. We call it Watersh Station, to mark the moment when patience ended and understanding began. As the red ribbon was cut, applause filled the chamber. Ships in orbit fired ceremonial salutes. A new era had truly begun. Later, Jack found a quiet moment alone with Admiral Reed. "Do you think it will last?" he asked. Reed looked out at the Martian landscape, thinking of all they had risked and gained. "Nothing lasts forever, but we've built something worth protecting. And if someone threatens it..." Reed's expression hardened slightly. "Then they'll be reminded that humans are still Deathworlders, patient ones, willing to extend friendship, but not to be crossed." Jack smiled at that. 50 years of restraint had ended with a reckoning that changed the galaxy. But the most important lesson wasn't about human strength. It was about wisdom, knowing when to hold back and when to stand firm. As the Earth rose over the Martian horizon, humans and aliens stood together watching the blue planet shine. The death world that had shaped humanity had ultimately shaped the future of all species, not through conquest, but through the patience that finally ran out, and the reckoning that followed.